Awareness is the birthplace of transformation. It is the moment when you stop moving through life on autopilot. Start observing the patterns that have been silently guiding your choices. Most people live their entire lives unaware of the invisible programs running in their minds. They wake up each day and unconsciously think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, repeat the same behaviors, and call that routine their personality. What they don't realize is that this cycle is not who they truly are. It is simply who they have memorized themselves to be. To ask the question, "Can I do better?" is to open the door to self-awareness. It is an invitation to step outside of the old version of yourself that has been replaying the same mental movie for years. When you look in the mirror of your own awareness, you begin to see beyond appearances. You start noticing how your mind constantly drifts toward familiar thoughts that keep you stuck in familiar feelings. Maybe it's the thought of failure that keeps you cautious. Maybe it's the emotion of guilt that keeps you anchored to your past. Maybe it's the subtle self-doubt that whispers you're not ready, not capable, not enough. These are the voices of the old self, the conditioned self, the identity built through repetition, experience, and emotional memory. But once you see them, truly see them, you have already begun to separate from them. Because the moment you become aware of a thought, you are no longer the thought. You are the consciousness observing it. This is where transformation begins. The observer is the most powerful force within you, because awareness interrupts the automatic. When you observe yourself judging, complaining, reacting, or retreating, and you catch it in the act, you're taking back your power. That single moment of awareness means you are no longer living unconsciously. You are awakening. You are beginning to realize that your old thoughts and emotions are not commands. They are simply habits of being. They feel familiar because they have been repeated for so long that they've become a kind of comfort zone. Even if they bring discomfort, the mind prefers what it knows, even if it keeps you small. Awareness challenges that comfort by asking, is this really who I am, or is this who I've been told to be? When you start observing yourself, you create space between stimulus and response. Normally, when something happens, your old programming reacts instantly. You get angry, defensive, anxious, or shut down. But with awareness, you begin to pause. In that pause, a new possibility emerges. That pause is freedom. It is the gap between the old you and the one you're becoming. Most people rush through life, reacting to circumstances without realizing that they are replaying emotional patterns from years ago. They are not responding to the present moment, they are responding to memories. Awareness brings you back to now. It allows you to see that every emotion you feel today is connected to a story you once told yourself. And that story can be rewritten. The mirror of awareness does not lie, but it also does not judge. It simply reflects what is. And in that reflection, you find truth. The truth about how you think, how you feel, how you behave. The truth about the fears that run quietly beneath your decisions. The truth about the excuses you make to avoid growth. Awareness is not about criticizing yourself. It's about understanding yourself so deeply that you begin to transcend what no longer serves you. When you become aware of your fear, you disarm it. When you see your self-doubt clearly, it begins to lose its grip. When you notice your tendency to complain, you realize you have the power to choose gratitude instead. Every moment of awareness is a small death of the old self. The part of you that needed validation, that chased approval, that lived from scarcity and survival, it starts to dissolve under the light of observation. The more you observe, the more the illusion fades. You begin to see that what you thought was you was merely a collection of conditioned responses, shaped by past experiences and reinforced through emotion. And once you see it, you can no longer unsee it. The curtain lifts, the mask falls. You begin to sense a deeper presence within you, an awareness that is vast, calm, and unchanging. That awareness is your true self. It's the part of you that has been quietly watching all along, waiting for you to notice. When you step into awareness, life starts to look different. You realize that you are not your past. You realize that the future is not something that just happens to you, it's something that you participate in creating. You start noticing how your thoughts shape your emotions and how your emotions influence your energy. You start seeing how your state of being determines what you attract and what you repel. The external world begins to mirror your internal one, and suddenly, you understand that awareness is not just observation, it's creation. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice to step into your old self or to awaken to your new one. You can continue repeating the same emotional patterns, or you can notice them and choose differently. Awareness gives you that choice. It is the key that unlocks the possibility of better, because you cannot change what you are unwilling to see. The mirror of awareness will show you everything, the beauty and the shadow, the love and the fear, but only when you have the courage to look into that mirror without turning away. Can you begin to rise above the version of yourself that has kept you bound? Awareness is the beginning of freedom. It is the silent revolution that starts within the mind. And every time you catch yourself falling into the old story and choose instead to observe it, you reclaim a piece of your power. You begin to rewrite the narrative, not through effort, but through presence. The moment you become aware, you are already stepping beyond the old self, into the realm of infinite possibility, where better is not something you strive for, something you awaken to. The subconscious mind is like fertile soil. Whatever thoughts, beliefs, and emotions you plant in it, it nurtures and grows whether those seeds create flowers or weeds. Most people live their lives unaware of this truth. They consciously want success, happiness, peace, or love. But their subconscious programming still holds beliefs of lack, fear, and limitation. It's like trying to drive a car forward while your foot is pressing on the brake. The conscious mind says, I want to change, but the subconscious whispers, you can't. Until you understand how to reprogram your subconscious, your life will always return to the same familiar patterns. Because the subconscious doesn't operate through willpower. It operates through repetition and emotion. Every thought you think fires a neural pathway in your brain, and every emotion you feel reinforces that pathway. Over time, those pathways become highways, so well-traveled that your body automatically knows how to think, feel, and act in predictable ways. You don't even need to try. It happens on autopilot. The subconscious mind has memorized your past so completely that it starts running your future. This is why so many people feel stuck there living the same day emotionally over and over again, expecting something new to appear. Real change requires breaking that habit of the old mind. The subconscious learns through two main languages, repetition and emotional intensity. That means every time you replay an event in your mind and feel the same emotion about it, you are reinforcing it. The body becomes addicted to the chemistry of those emotions, anger, guilt, fear, disappointment, and begins to crave them. You don't realize it, but your body starts to demand the same emotional experiences that match those chemicals. So even when nothing is wrong, you might unconsciously think thoughts that create those emotions again, just to feel normal. The body becomes the mind of the past. It memorizes emotional patterns, and before you know it, you are living not from choice, but from conditioning. To reprogram your subconscious, you must first interrupt that cycle. You must become conscious of what you've been unconscious about. This means catching yourself in the act when you feel stress, pause, and observe it. When you feel unworthy, don't rush to distract yourself. Instead, become aware of where it lives in your body. Awareness brings it from the subconscious into the light of consciousness. And once it's visible, it can be rewritten. The second step is to replace the old emotional signature with a new one. You can't think your way into a new life. You must feel your way into it. Close your eyes and begin to imagine the life you want. It's not as a distant dream, but as a current reality. See it clearly. Feel what it would be like to live that weight, to have that freedom, that confidence, that peace. Let your body experience the elevated emotion of that future before it even exists in your physical world. This practice is powerful because your body doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. If you can generate the emotion of your desired future in the present moment, you are teaching your subconscious a new emotional blueprint. This is where change begins to happen, not by trying to fix the past, but by emotionally rehearsing the future. Every time you do this, you are weakening the neural connections that support the old identity and strengthening those that support the new one. Over time, the new state of being becomes more familiar than the old. You begin to think, feel, and act like the person you are becoming, not the person you have been. This is how you reprogram the subconscious, through repeated emotional alignment with your future self. But here's the challenge. The old mind will resist. The moment you start imagining a new life, the more you practice feeling your desired emotions, the more natural they become. Gratitude, love, and joy are high-frequency states that signal to your subconscious, this is who I am now. When that emotional state becomes your baseline, your subconscious begins to create thoughts, opportunities, and synchronicities that align with it. You don't have to force it. Life starts reorganizing itself to match your inner state. This is not magic. It's biology. Your brain begins to wire new connections. Your body releases new chemical signatures, and your heart synchronizes with your mind. The old self is slowly dismantled, not through struggle, but through consistent, elevated awareness. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you want to hear new music, you must change the frequency. You can't keep tuning into the same old station of fear, doubt, and limitation and expect to receive joy and abundance. When you shift your emotional frequency, you begin to attract a reality that vibrates in harmony with it. The subconscious mind starts responding differently because you are no longer feeding it the same signals. You're teaching it that joy is safe, that love is familiar, that success is natural. Each time you choose a new thought and pair it with a new emotion, you're sending a new message to every cell in your body. You're telling your subconscious, this is who I am now. First, it may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable, but that discomfort is proof that you are stepping beyond the old identity. The body will want to return to the emotional comfort of the past, but you remind it, gently but firmly, that the past no longer defines you. You breathe deeply. You feel gratitude for the change already unfolding. You keep practicing. Eventually, the repetition of these new thoughts and emotions becomes automatic. The subconscious accepts the new program. You wake up feeling lighter. You speak with confidence. You respond with patience. You no longer chase better, you embody it. The old mind fades into silence, and a new consciousness begins to lead. Every cell, every thought, every breath starts aligning with the future you've been rehearsing internally. And what was once effort becomes ease because you have successfully broken the habit of the old mind and trained your subconscious to follow the rhythm of your new reality. Everything in existence is energy. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every word you speak carries a specific frequency that shapes the reality around you. Most people move through life unaware that their emotional energy is the very signal they are sending into the universe. Broadcast that continuously attracts experiences matching its vibration. When you live from emotions like fear, anger, doubt, or guilt, you are tuning your body and mind to the frequency of your past. You wake up in the morning and instantly reconnect with your old story. The body remembers the feeling of being unworthy. The brain recalls the circumstances that made you anxious. Before you even step out of bed, you are already living as your old self. The day that follows can only mirror the energy you are emitting. To change your life, you must change your energy, because your energy is your personal broadcast to the field of infinite possibility. The shift begins with understanding that emotion is energy in motion. Every emotion carries a unique vibration, and the body is the instrument playing that energetic melody. When you start your day with low-frequency emotions, you are unconsciously rehearsing the same chemical state that the body has memorized. But when you consciously choose elevated emotions, gratitude, joy, love, inspiration, you begin to shift your energy field. This isn't just poetic language. It's physiological. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that is measurable several feet beyond your body. When your heart and mind are in coherence, that field becomes harmonious. There comes a moment in every transformation when you realize that the future you've been dreaming of isn't something you chase, it's something you embody. The greatest illusion of change is believing that something outside of you must shift first before you can feel whole, successful, or fulfilled. The truth is the opposite. The moment you decide to think, feel, and act as if your desired future is already real, you are collapsing time. You are creating a quantum leap in your reality. The mind that created your past cannot create your future. You must become someone else emotionally, mentally, energetically before life rearranges itself to mirror that new state of being. The question is not, when will it happen? But who am I being right now? Because who you are being in this moment is the vibration that draws your future toward you. Most people wait for life to change before they change themselves. They say, when I get that job, I'll feel confident, or when I meet the right person, I'll feel loved, or when I make more money, I'll feel free. But this is the trap that keeps them locked in the same cycle. Waiting for the external world to create an internal state is living in reaction, not creation. The mind and body stay trapped in the chemistry of the past, and the same experiences keep repeating. To make a quantum leap, you reverse that formula. You generate the emotion of the future before it arrives. You become the frequency of the reality you desire now, not later. And when you do, your external world begins to reorganize itself to match the energy you are broadcasting. The quantum leap happens the moment you stop trying to fix the old self and start embodying the new one. The old self is built on memory, past pain, past failure, past disappointment. Every thought you think from that state is tinted by the lens of what has been. But the new self operates from possibility. It is not bound by what was. It is fueled by what can be. The instant you choose to think and feel from your desired future, the neurons in your brain begin to wire in new patterns. The body begins to memorize new emotions. You are literally redesigning your biology to match your intention. The field around you responds to coherence, not effort. When you are emotionally aligned with your vision, energy moves toward you instead of away from you. Life starts flowing with you instead of against you. The challenge is consistency. The quantum leap is not a one-time event. It's a state of being you must sustain. You can meditate, visualize, and feel inspired. But if you return to your old emotional habit sphere, frustration, doubt, the old self reclaims control. Every time you catch yourself slipping into those familiar emotions and realign with gratitude, confidence, and love, you strengthen your new identity. You are training your body to live in the future, not the past. It's like teaching a muscle to hold a new posture. At first, it resists, but with repetition, it becomes natural. The energy of the old self begins to dissolve, and your new state of being stabilizes. Living as the better version of yourself now means walking, talking, and feeling like that version already exists. You stop waiting for proof. You start becoming proof. You wake up in the morning and choose to think the thoughts your future self would think. You move through the day embodying the emotions your future self would feel. You speak with the confidence your future self already owns. You stop identifying with the person who is trying to get there and start being the person who is already there. This is the essence of the quantum leap, acting as if until the as if becomes reality. The universe doesn't know the difference between imagination and experience. It only responds to energy. When you live in alignment with your future self, opportunities, people, and experiences begin to find you effortlessly. It's as if life conspires to meet you halfway because you've already met yourself halfway. The better version of you exists in another level of frequency. Every time you think, feel, and act in harmony with that energy, you tune your life to that new frequency. And just like a radio signal, when the alignment is clear, you begin to receive everything that was always meant for you. The quantum leap isn't a miracle, it's a natural consequence of coherence between thought, emotion, and energy. But this process requires faith in the unseen. It means trusting that what you're feeling internally will manifest externally, even when there's no physical evidence yet. The logical mind will resist. It wants to see before it believes. But in the quantum field, believing is what makes seeing possible. You don't manifest from the old state of consciousness that doubts, you manifest from the elevated state that knows. Every time you choose faith over fear, gratitude over doubt, love over impatience, You reinforce your alignment with the future you're creating. You are telling the universe, "This is who I am now." The universe responds by showing you evidence that matches that truth. The quantum leap is not about forcing outcomes, it's about surrendering to a new identity. You no longer chase the dream. You embody the energy of the dream. You no longer try to control the external, you master the internal. You stop looking for change and start being change. The person who decides to live as their higher self today steps out of the linear progression of time. They stop waiting for someday and bring their future into the now. The moment you align thought, emotion, and energy in one unified direction, you transcend logic and enter the realm of creation. You become both the artist and the artwork, shaping your reality from the inside out. As this alignment deepens, your outer world begins to reflect your inner coherence. Relationships shift. Opportunities appear. Circumstances evolve in ways that feel synchronistic rather than coincidental.